Welcome back and a very good evening to you from possibly the most beautiful venue. We at Times
Gorgeous.
TV are back again with the National Day special live broadcast on the 47th National Day of Oman. Yes, we are at the Muttrah Corniche and you can see the Port Sultan caboose right behind me, and there's a cool breeze and we have some awesome visitors there. The pigeons are audience for the day.
Yes, bird's eye view. Bird's eye view.
Wordplay there, well
Bird's
done,
eye
well
view.
done.
Yes, we're here on the roof of the Beit Al Luban restaurant overlooking, as Shruthi says, Muttrah Corniche, which at the moment is still relatively calm and quiet
Surprisingly.
if you're planning on coming down here. And we have one or two wonderful guests with us as well.
Right, and our first guest for the day is with me right now. He is the captain of Jewel of Muscat and he's sitting with me and he has a lot of interesting stories to tell us. So thank you for joining me today.
How are you,
And
Saleh?
welcome.
Oh, fine, thank you. It's great to be here in this wonderful memento
Thank you for coming.
to celebrate for National Day.
Thank you for coming.
And
I
wish
love
you
your
a
scarf
very happy
Yeah?
National Day.
with His Majesty
Yeah, it's,
on it as well.
wish him
Wonderful
a
scarf.
lovely day and great health, inshallah, on this beautiful day.
Yes, with this gentle breeze, Saleh, and being in this wonderful position overlooking Muttrah Corniche, I'm going to ask you a difficult question to start. Do you prefer being here with us on Times TV on the roof here, overlooking this wonderful view, or would you prefer to be on that dhow over there out on the water?
Oh, no doubt. Prefer there in the dhow, sailing
On the
this
water.
beautiful in the water, and this lovely. So set the sail and here you go.
You are a sailor through and through, aren't you?
Absolutely, absolutely.
So a captain is never allowed to be seasick, yeah?
Well, sort of. But we've been trained a lot about it all our life when we are a little kid, going from a village Haramel all the way to school in Sidab itself, going by boat in that time.
Right.
And there is no car, so it's from our youngest, 7 years old, all the way.
So you're naturally trained.
Absolutely.
Right from
Naturally.
your childhood.
Yeah.
So, well, the Jewel of Muscat is a dhow, yes?
It is.
So, would you call those that you see right behind, are they also dhows or are they just ordinary boats?
No, dhows.
They are
Right.
also
Yeah,
dhows.
yeah,
Right. So, what is a dhow, essentially?
Dhow is there's a lot of different dhows actually, and there is a dhow which is taking the treasures, taking the things. Some of the dhow is just a small fishing dhow, which is taking the fish to the market itself, which is the shape is quite different,
Yeah.
and the way which is they built it quite different.
Right.
So there is quite a lot of different shapes and names for dhows.
Right. So, this iconic voyage that you just went through a couple
Yeah.
of years back, how many years back was it?
7 years.
7 years.
7
wow.
years ago.
Yeah.
7
Okay.
years ago.
It's amazing,
So,
yeah.
what was that about?
This is it's a true story of the Jewel of Muscat. They found it 89 in Indonesian territory in water.
In 1989.
So it was a wreck?
It's a wreck.
It was a wreckage?
Absolutely.
And it was actually called the Jewel of Muscat, that
No,
boat?
no, not in that time.
Oh, right,
But-
you named it the Jewel of Muscat.
That's correct.
Right, okay.
And there is a treasure in it, almost 60,000
60,000 what?
piece inside of
Pe-
gold,
Pieces of
Wow.
silver.
silver mix. And it's amazing that time when they trade all the way from
Do,
the
do they know the value of those pieces of gold and silver in today's money? Do they know the approximate value?
Not really, but there is a lot.
Are we
Approximately
talking millions of dollars?
Oh yes, millions.
Hundreds of millions of dollars?
Hundreds of millions of dollars.
Wow.
It's a massive of the gold earliest, and myself I hold one of the gold Capt in that time, and they put it in almost a museum in Singapore.
It's in a museum
So
in
was-
Singapore.
Yes, it was they after all this talking between us, when we say us, the government of Oman and the government of Singapore. So His Majesty vision, they built the ship down here,
Oh.
and then here,
So they built a replica
a replica, yes,
of the original wreck?
absolutely
Right.
exactly same
Obviously out of wood. What kind of wood did they use?
teak, almost
wood.
of teak, because teak is very flexible and strong,
Right,
and very
okay.
strong wind and high water.
So
I
I'm
mean-
a little confused here. So you said that this was founded in 1989.
Yeah.
But how old was that ship?
Almost 9th century, which is we talking almost 1,200 years.
1,200 years.
Absolutely.
And you still found the gold and the treasures were still there.
It's amazing, and it's not that as well. It's the history of the country itself.
Yeah.
So there is very long history of Oman, of maritime. So it's going to all that.
So where were these boats built then, and where did they get the wood from? Because we're obviously looking behind us, and
Yeah.
there's not an abundance of trees here.
No, yeah.
Where did the wood come from? Where did this teak wood come from?
Actually, the teak, it's the friendship between Indian government and Oman. So they trade all the way from India and bringing the
So
wood.
most of the wood came from India
Yes,
for these
almost.
boats?
Absolutely.
And was that the same for your boat?
Absolutely, yes.
So the teak wood that they used to build your boat also came from India?
From India, some of it cedar, we call it here, from Oman as well. So there's combinations of different names of wood. And this is the trade, which is Oman earliest. They take the lime and dates and Lebans and all this frankincense and all these things to all the way far east and bringing the goodies.
Yeah.
Like wood or whatever it is there.
Is that what you also did when you went on this voyage? Did you also transport frankincense and dates?
A little bit, not
You
very
did?
much. Yeah, yeah.
Or was that just your food that you had? for
Almost of the
yourself?
food, dry fish, and
So how was this whole journey? How did it take place?
it's incredible, but one of the difficult journey in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a ship of almost, as we say, 9th
How long
century.
was it, the journey? From start to finish, did you say?
5 months.
5 months,
Yeah.
right. 5 months at sea,
I'd say,
in a dhow with no modern comforts.
absolutely, absolutely.
How many people were there in the dhow?
It's almost the crew, all of us, it's 20 sailors.
20 sailors.
Yeah.
20 sailors,
Yeah.
you as the captain. I just want to get one thing straight here. 20 sailors, you as the captain.
Yes.
You had no modern comforts whatsoever. You had no mobile phones or...
We have to be honest, the Thuraya, the modern, which is for emergency because
right,
the
so you had an
global.
emergency radio.
Yes,
But other than that, you had no modern conveniences.
not at all.
So I'm amazed there wasn't a mutiny. at some point
Exactly,
on this boat.
exactly. It's incredible. I mean, when we hit by cyclone,
You were hit
which-
by a cyclone?
by cyclone, it's 65 knot, which is almost 100 plus kilometers
Oh,
per
wow.
hour, and there is no communication for 5 days in row. The biggest almost waves for 5 days, 8 to 10 meters high, was strong wind, was cold, freezing. We almost sank.
Really?
So these 20 sailors on board was like machines
Yeah.
working inside. Somebody take the water again by hand, strength.
So you had to pump the bilges.
Absolutely, by hands all
Yeah.
the way. And one of the sailor, which is really strong, almost pump per 2 hours, 3 hours, 1,000 liters and continues.
You must have been scared.
You must
Really scared.
We are really very scared and strong at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Our goals, we have to arrive this ship with the sailor in peace and sound
Yeah.
to Singapore.
Right.
So what
So-
was the route that you were taking for this journey?
Again, the route it's we taking as a silk route.
Yeah.
So we have to sail from here all the way to south of India, Cochin.
Yeah.
Took us almost 28 days.
28 days, which we can do in 2.5 hours
Yeah.
otherwise.
What does that take on a modern boat?
4 days,
4 days.
Yeah.
Okay.
3 days, 4 days, and then no shower. You have 1 liter of fresh water to drink for 24 hours.
The
1
boat
litre
must
for-
smell really nice then. No shower for a whole month.
No,
1
no,
litre for 24 hours.
yeah, and no proper beds for us.
Right.
And above the deck, we call it, it's only 20 to 30 centimeters. So if there is a big rough water, there is a big chance to jump to the sea.
So you must have lost weight.
A lot.
So how much
How
weight
much?
did you lose?
We almost 25.
25 kilos.
15 to 25, yeah.
15 to 25 kilos over the whole journey.
Trip,
over
yeah.
the,
Yeah, was-
the
was.
So
5
when you'd
months.
go on the coast, then you'd probably eat.
Eat a
and-
lot, as
Yeah.
much as we can, yeah. When we hop to the port, we eat really as much as we can.
And you ate anything, I'm guessing. You
Absolutely.
went for
No.
fast food and just whatever you could get your hands on.
Because we have dry fish, dates, some lime, and this is all our food. And we have to be really exactly what our forefathers been eating. And they do almost what they've been doing earliest
Yeah.
as exactly what we've been trained.
Right.
And then in same time, we have to be really strong. How this our forefathers been doing how they've been navigate, how they've been really strong, and how they can stay for some time and wait.
Stay with us, Saleh, because we're going to hear a little bit more about your story. The call to prayer is coming any second now, so don't go away. We're here. It's the live National Day.
Welcome back. We're still at the Muttrah Corniche, and you can see the Port Sultan caboose, and the lights
Wonderful
have just
view.
turned on, so it's going to look gorgeous in a bit.
Wonderful view, wonderful temperature.
Correct?
It's incredible. It's
yes,
incredible.
it's getting cooler now, and Saleh is still with us. Thank
Yeah.
you for being with us still.
You're welcome.
And yes, we will listen to
Captain
your
Saleh.
fascinating
We have to say
story.
Captain Saleh, don't we?
Aye, Captain.
Thank you.
At one point, I'm imagining your career, you were Saleh the sailor, but now you're Captain Saleh. yes?
Absolutely, yes. Yeah.
So yes, you were talking about your journey
Yeah.
from here to India, then to Singapore. But
Yeah.
I would like to know, Saleh, were there any discoveries or things that you found when you were on the ocean?
Yeah, after a few days when we left Ras Al Had, and there's a huge body in the sea. It's just early morning after the sunrise. See, this is huge animal came, which is a blue whale.
Oh,
A blue whale,
Whale
in Oman.
in Oman, yeah.
Yeah.
which would be bigger than the boat. I'm guessing.
Absolutely, absolutely, and yeah. Oh my goodness! I hope we will not hit the ship. So I called the guys. Come on, guys, we got something here, and he dived all the way, and we saw him after a few minutes, and he gone a massive, deep, and he go to the starboard side, which is right hand side
Yeah.
of the ship, and was just incredible.
How
to
long
see.
did this blue whale swim with the boat?
We said 15, half an hour, something like this,
Right, okay.
and he disappeared
Right.
afterwards. But it was incredible to see something like that in the
Right.
water.
So after your entire journey, when you came back to Oman,
Yeah.
how did that feel for you?
Wow. It's I have to say, I mean, if I go thousand and thousand years to respect our forefathers, I never respect something like this in my life.
I suppose the question is, would you do it again?
Well, that's I have to think about it. It's one of the difficult.
It was that tough?
It's very tough. I
Right.
mean, there is no proper food. There is no proper sleep. We sleep maximum almost an hour every day. You have to prepare and train for every 20 minutes, 30 minutes. You have to wake up, and it's really tough. But again, you have to respect our forefathers. How these people been doing. It's incredible, and we have to give them salute to
Right.
these our forefathers. I
And
mean,
they were obviously fitter because they didn't have all the McDonald's and Pizza Hut and junk food like we
very
eat
fit.
right
We
now.
have to say very fit. Have to say
So
very
where
fit.
is the jewel now? The Jewel of Muscat?
The jewel is now in a good pace, which is they put it out of the water, they clean it, and they put it in a museum
In Oman?
in Singapore.
Oh, it's in Singapore?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And again, this is the friendship, and for a new vision of generation, how much between us and Far East been doing this long, and especially in 21st century now. I saw recently Ministry of Foreign Affairs of China and Singapore, maybe beginning of this year, and they see a massive people visiting that area, and they give a lot of respect of that ship.
It's a fabulous story, Saleh, and thank you very much for sharing it with us on this, the 47th National Day. We appreciate you coming.
Thank you very much for inviting me to this fascinating day.
Yes, it is a
Yes,
fascinating day, and if you are going on another expedition, 5 months, very little food on a traditional boat, do not invite me. Do not invite me, Saleh. Thank you very much.
You're very
It's
welcome.
been an absolute pleasure having you. Yes, we're here on the roof of the Beit Al Laban restaurant for the 47th National Day, here with Times TV. A wonderful evening breeze and the sun not quite yet down, but it's almost down. And the roads are still quite clear as well, by the way, if you're planning on coming down here. Don't go far, we have another guest coming, a fabulous adventurer.
Of Beit Al Laban, which overlooks the beautiful Muttrah Corniche and of course the iconic Port Sultan Qaboos. We have yet another very special guest with us right now, along with Joe Morrison, of course, who's also equally special.
Thank you very much. I wondered when you were going to add that bit in, yes, and Shruthi Nair, who is looking fabulous, by the way, in this, well, it actually looks like a sort of an Arabic kind of costume, doesn't
Yes,
it?
yes, this is Style Passport. Thank you for dressing me up and making me look presentable. Thank you, Style
Again.
Passport.
Again.
Right, and our next guest for the day is Anisa Al Raisi, an adventurer and who's also going to be the first Omani to reach the North Pole very soon. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
A very happy National Day to you, Anisa.
Yes, thank you, and to everyone in Oman, to you as well.
Yes, it's a
Thank
pleasure.
you, thank you.
This is a nice warm temperature, Anisa. It's not going to be as warm where you're
No,
going.
no, it's not at all. Just minus about 40 degrees.
Minus 40.
40.
Yeah,
40
Wow.
degrees centigrade.
Yeah,
Is
at least that's best case scenario we're looking
Does
at.
that
yeah.
include the wind chill
That's
factor?
excluding the wind chill.
Excluding
so,
the wind chill.
yeah,
So what is it
yeah.
estimated to be with the wind
minus
chill?
50, 60 at worst. Yeah, yeah.
Wow,
You're-
are
you're
you
a
going to come
braver
back
person
looking
then.
like this?
Probably a bit blue on the lips and no fingers, yeah, but more or less.
Alright, so when is this expedition?
April 2018.
Oh, that's,
Yeah.
that's pretty
That's
soon now.
just around the corner now.
So
yeah.
why did you decide that you want to go to the North Pole? Was there a reason behind it?
Well, it was more like, why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I heard about this expedition. I was told by Mark Evans, that, our general manager at Outward Bound, that there's an expedition coming up for an all-woman group to the North Pole.
Okay.
And he asked if there was anyone who I knew who would be interested. I said, yeah, me. So I applied. It was a big application process. There were about 1,000 women applying from all over the world.
Okay.
Yeah, so
1,000?
Yeah, 1,000 applicants.
1,000 women applied for this expedition
Yes,
next year. And
yes.
how many places?
10 places.
So there's only 10, and you've been selected
Yes.
as one of those. That's an achievement in itself, isn't
that
it?
is, that is, yeah. So it was 5 Arab women and 5 European women selected.
Right,
So it's
okay.
a Euro-Arab.
It's a Euro-Arab women's expedition.
So one from Oman, obviously, which is yourself.
yeah,
Which other
we've
Arab
got
countries?
UAE, Kuwait, Qatar, Saudi Arabia,
Right, okay.
Right.
and
So
Oman's a 5th.
you did go on a training expedition.
We
now,
did.
yeah?
We did to Iceland.
To Iceland.
was-
So how
uh-huh.
was that experience for you?
It was also very cold. Not as cold. We were looking at about minus 20 degrees.
Wow.
Yeah, it was my first time skiing.
Okay.
So there was a lot of cross-country skiing.
So you're going to be skiing, yeah, throughout?
Yes, yes.
All right.
It's more flat skiing, so it's a slow plod. It's
So no
cross-country
cars,
skiing.
no motor?
No, it's just human powered all the way through. We're going to be
Oh.
carrying or pulling all of our equipment on our
On a
food.
sled?
On a sled.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Captain Saleh, who was just on earlier,
Uh-huh.
his expedition took 5 months.
Yeah.
How long?
No, we're not nowhere close to 5 months. We've only got a short window of about 3 weeks max.
Right, okay.
And then we'll have to evacuate because the ice starts to melt.
Right.
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Right,
it's
right.
not on solid ground where we're
So
going.
what time of
It's
year is this?
April.
April, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Right, so when you went to Iceland, did you see glaciers?
Yes, we were on a glacier.
You were on a
Yes,
glacier,
yes.
yeah?
So that's where the training took place. Yeah.
So what is the training like?
The training was, we're trying to replicate as much as we can the actual scenario at the North Pole. So it was long days of 90 minutes skiing, and then you get a 7-minute break, and that just kept going for at least 12 hours.
Oh, wow.
On the North Pole, we're expected to do that for at least 14 to 16 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's
14 to 16
14
hours
to
of
16.
skiing.
So, yeah, because you can't do anything else but sleep.
Right.
Sleep and eat.
Yeah.
And so the 7 minutes that we have in between is where we can adjust ourselves, go to the toilet, eat.
You must burn
A lot.
a huge
A
amount
lot.
of calories
Yes,
on
yes.
these things.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing then the counter to that is you have to consume a huge
Exactly,
amount of calories.
exactly,
What's
and
the
it's-
daily
It's just a lot of rubbish.
recommendation?
So we're looking at snack packs about that big
Uh-huh.
with all the worst things that you can imagine to eat. So you've got jelly beans, you've got chocolate, you've got
Oh,
dried
yes.
fruit, you've got popcorn, you've
Oh,
got
I want to go on an
rice
expedition.
crackers, you've got
I want to go on an expedition.
Beautiful food.
nuts. It's just, yeah, just high fat.
And what's the
high,
calories of that? Approximately?
You're looking at least 3,000 calories.
3,000
Yeah,
calories
yeah.
per pack? or-
Per day. Per day,
day,
we're
right.
taking at least 3,000. So my diet right now is about 1,500, and I 2,000. I should be at 2,000. Yeah.
And do they, I'm not sure I should tell you this because maybe they didn't, the polar bears.
Yes, the polar bears.
Have you been warned about the polar bears? 'Cause
We
they
have
look
been
cute and
warned.
cuddly on a
Oh,
photo.
they're by far. So there's polar bear training that we're going to do on how to react when there are polar bears
Do
around.
you have to
That
start
is a
fighting
threat.
it, or is it just
Uh,
flight?
No, not flight. They're way faster than we are.
Okay.
Well, we should just be faster than the slowest person, and then you're okay, you know. As long as you're not at the end of the line, you're good.
That's brilliant.
But
That was part
no.
of your training, was it?
Yeah,
To be faster
exactly,
than the slowest
exactly,
person?
exactly.
I've seen, I've seen on some of these expedition training things as well. They actually throw you into the ice water. Did
Yes.
they do that with you?
Yes, no, that's part of our training in
Part
February.
of the acclimatization
Yeah,
process.
yeah.
The ice
So-
cold water.
and how to get out of it, because that's going to
Wow.
be a part of it.
Yeah.
We are going to be falling.
Do they give you a
into the-
warning or do they just push you in?
Well, we haven't done that bit yet. I'm looking
Oh,
forward
oh,
to that in
right. Oh,
February.
right. I
So
see, I see.
hope they give us a warning.
So you're doing cold showers at the moment
Yes,
to prepare
yes,
yourself for
yeah.
that. Right.
So, Anisa, what is your team like? The ones you'll be traveling
Oh, they're
with?
brilliant. We first met them in Iceland, was it last year? And then they came to Oman again.
Okay.
We did some hot weather training. So we crossed the Sharqiya sands, and I was
Oh.
very proud to show our country. And I absolutely loved it. Amazing team. You know, one of those group of people where you think, first of all, the thing I was worried about most is meeting these women and, oh, will I get along with them? Will I not?
Really,
I'll be
and
sharing
not
a
about
tent with
going to
them.
the North Pole and fighting.
That was
Well,
all
you're
okay.
three,
that
you're
was
3 weeks together
polar
every day,
bears.
aren't you?
yeah, every single day, day in, day out. 24 hours a day that these people are in your face, you know. So
So that was your
but
biggest fear.
that was, but honestly, within a few minutes of meeting them at the airport, I already felt comfortable. So
Yeah.
it was a great team.
But
Great
have they
team.
also done all these expeditions before? Or?
Some have. So the team leader, she's been to the South Pole.
Okay.
She's also the first woman to solo the South Pole.
Oh.
Yeah, so she's quite an explorer. She's quite well known in the adventure world, and so this is her first time to the North Pole.
Right.
And another,
But would you be able to do that ever? Going alone on a solo trip to the North or South Pole?
I don't know. There's no never, right? I think why not? If I put my mind to it, yeah, I don't see why
Do
not.
you need someone to talk to? Is probably the question. Or are you happy in your own?
Oh, there's lots of
solace?
voices in here, so don't worry. I'm fine talking to them.
Right, I know it's a technicality, and this, if this is a dumb question, just say it's a dumb question. Do you go to the magnetic North Pole or the true North Pole?
The true North.
And for those of us like me who don't fully understand it, what's the difference?
Right.
Are they close together, like a few feet apart? Or
Oh
are they...
no, they're actually 500 kilometers apart now.
Right, okay.
So the magnetic North Pole keeps changing, and that changes depending on it's just randomly changing. It's
Right.
got to do with the
movement of the Earth
with the
and-
liquids
yeah.
under the movement of the Earth, under the core, next to the core. And so as that moves, the magnetic North Pole moves. The geographic North Pole is where the Earth rotates, which
Right,
is the
okay.
true north.
So that's the one you're going to?
That's the one I'm going to. That's on solid, not on solid ground, it's on ice,
Yeah.
which freezes over, which then you just have to keep checking where you're actually walking, and then that's where you fall into the cold water.
Because many people don't know that the North Pole and obviously the Arctic is just a sea, isn't it? It's
It
the
is.
Antarctic that's a land
That's-
mass underneath.
Exactly, land mass. So I think a few years ago, the magnetic north was actually on land as well. It's ever changing, so I'm not sure where it is now. Yeah, but it's
someone
closer
from
to.
Oman had gone to the magnetic North Pole before.
Yeah,
yes?
Nabil Al Raisi. He was the
Is
first
he also part
Omani
of
to go to the North Pole.
Outward Bound?
No.
No.
I'm not sure where he works now, but yeah, he's been great support. I've had a chat with him. Great guy. Yeah.
And in terms of preparation, which, as far as I'm concerned, especially tonight as we sit here in this lovely warm breeze, how do you prepare for those kind of conditions? It's easy to prepare, I'm guessing, if you're spending the whole year in Iceland before your expedition.
Yeah.
But here in Oman, how do you get cold?
You don't.
Want of a
You
phrase.
don't. You simply don't. You can't prepare your body for cold temperatures like that. Look, anything minus 20, and that's it. Your body won't acclimatize to that anyway.
Right.
The only thing that you've got on your side is the warm clothing, the good gear that you have,
Yeah.
and a few tips and tricks on how to stay warm when you do feel frost nip. And
Do you know where all the walk-in fridges are in Oman?
yes, I have been to a few. I've been
Have
to a
you been
few.
to some, have
I've
you?
been to NHI. They were kind enough to allow me to walk into
What's
their
an
fridge.
HI, sorry?
The National Hospitality Institute.
Right, okay.
Yeah. I actually go to boot camp with the dean of the college,
Right.
and so he offered me his chiller.
So you can
So
actually
it
go
was
inside
great.
and just sleep and chill
Yeah.
there. And you're
I had
comfortable
a
with
few
that
hours
now?
there. Yeah, but it just goes down to minus 16.
Yeah.
So still not cold enough.
Yeah,
No.
But if you had to choose between glaciers and the Shirkiya sands, what would you choose?
You know, I'm always I'd rather the cold than the heat. At
Yeah.
least the cold, you can do something about it. You can dress up. Whereas
Right.
with the heat, that
You can't really.
you can't.
Yeah.
No, there's just so much you can take off.
Oh, I'm not so sure. I'm from the north of England, you know. I'll take the heat any day.
I don't know. Like now, just last week I was in Jebel Akhdar, and that
Yeah.
was about 2 degrees at night. It got pretty cold.
2 degrees.
And there were instructors who were working with me. They're like, "Oh, let's go down next week. We should go down to the desert." I'm not sure. I'd prefer the cold over the heat any day. Yeah.
But right now for this expedition, what are the major risks that you foresee?
The cold for
All the
one, definitely.
challenge, yeah.
Polar bears for another. Falling into the ice.
Yeah.
Maybe another team member. An accident happening to someone else, and then that sets the whole team back. Look, another thing we're going to face, and I just spoke to an explorer, Sir Charles Shaw. He's here in Oman as well, and he did the same expedition about 20 years ago, and he was telling me about his experience. And what happened to one of his team members is they fell into the ice, which meant he was in risk of hypothermia. So they set up a tent, and that tent, every night they were sleeping, they ended up staying there for 3 days, trying to convince him to move forward, and it just kept going backwards and backwards. So the ice is moving backwards.
Right.
So every night you sleep, for example, he said some nights we hiked 20 kilometers, you go back 24 kilometers.
Really?
Exactly. So I think it's going to be more of a mental struggle than anything
Yeah.
else. Especially for me, I'm very target oriented.
Right.
And knowing that, oh, you know, okay, yes, achievement, we've made 20. Oh no, we're back 18. You
Yeah.
know, so.
So
And-
how
and-
many days is your trip going to be? The whole?
Well,
North-
like I said, we've got a window of maximum 3 weeks.
only 3 weeks.
Only 3 weeks.
But
We're aiming.
that's your window.
That's
but
a window.
in
We're
that-
aiming for 10 days.
10
That's
days,
the best
right,
case
okay.
scenario if we're going in a dead straight line, 10 kilometers a day, which is not going to happen.
Right. Okay.
And
So
with
I'm
no,
guessing you fly to a certain point and
we
they
fly
drop
to
you
a
off.
certain point.
and then-
We fly to the Russian base camp, which they set up over there just for the season for researchers and explorers to take off from. And this is called Borneo. And from there, they take us in a helicopter to about the 89th degree. So we're walking the final, or skiing the final degree.
I'd go in the helicopter all the way.
Just drop me, you might
If
as
it was
well.
just
Like,
me, you
it's
may as well
just
just-
We've
there.
got supplies for you.
Plant the
Some
flag.
food.
Just tell them
Take
I've
a
done it. Just
selfie
tell them I've
and
done
then
it.
Get back on. You can do it in minutes. You know. But no, on a more serious note, having spoken to explorers before, they all say, anyone who's an adventurer, anyone who's an explorer, everyone says just what you touched on earlier, which is it's a mental struggle
Yeah.
rather than a physical struggle.
Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
must be the thing that makes you think about it the most, or worry the most.
Exactly. So I've been trying to overcome or strengthen my mental ability to overcome challenges, really. So, for example, last year, I thought, you know what, a way to do this is do something continuous that I hate doing. So I decided to run the marathon, which I'm not a runner,
Yeah.
but yeah, last year I achieved that. So I thought, okay, well, if I can do that, the slow plod for how many hours, then I can, you know,
But
at
this
least.
is your job, right? That is your day job as well, because you work for Outward Bound Oman.
Yeah,
So
but
you've
not.
probably got the coolest job.
Yeah, I
which
do.
is-
I do. Thank God. Yeah, I do. It's brilliant.
But there'll be a bit more variety to that than this slog of
Exactly.
step after step
Exactly,
for, what did
exactly.
you say, 14 hours, or was it?
14 to 16
to
hours,
16
which leaves us
hours
8
a
hours.
day.
Yeah.
And there's nothing else you can do there, is there?
No,
at the
no,
North Pole.
exactly,
Although
exactly.
I'm-
You'll freeze to death.
By the way,
So
we're
it's
not trying to
just-
put you off. We're not trying to discourage you here.
Just getting
This
more
is a
excited
mental
about this.
test that we're giving Anisa right now
this
in
is like
preparation.
yeah, this is one of the audition rounds, maybe.
That's
Right,
actually.
but-
That's
but
actually.
I have heard that a lot of weddings are happening at the North Pole now.
Weddings.
Weddings?
Yeah, yeah,
Really?
yeah. I
Is that
just read
true?
it.
I didn't
yeah.
know that.
Yeah, it's one of those things that people are getting engaged while bungee jumping. Now
Oh,
people are
okay,
getting
yeah,
married
these
at the
crazy
North Pole.
things,
Yeah,
and then
yeah, one of those-
diving and all of
yeah,
that.
So what if
Yeah.
you come across one of those things? Can you stop?
Oh,
Do
girl,
you have
I'll
time to
think
do
they're a
that?
polar bear and just shoot them down or something. What's that white thing? I don't know. I've never heard of that.
Yeah,
Right? Yeah.
but yeah,
I don't know.
fascinating things on the way, maybe.
Yeah.
We hope you get to see
Run
that.
into a party. Yeah.
Well,
random.
we hope that at some point in 2018, after you've done all of this, that we can see you again,
Oh,
Anisa,
I'd love
and
to, yeah.
congratulate you on reaching the North Pole. We sincerely hope that. So,
Thank
So
you.
you're gonna
I
do
do
it
as
in
well. Yes, April.
April 2018.
Uh-huh.
Wow,
April
so exciting.
2018.
We're really
Yeah.
excited for you. And
Thank you.
Really, like Joe said, we wish you all the luck. And
Thank
make
you,
us
I'll
all
need it.
proud.
yes,
Thank
I'm
you.
sure you
Yes.
will. Thank you very much for those of you who've been watching us here on Times TV from the roof of the Beit Al Laban restaurant here in Muttrah Corniche, which
Beautiful.
I'm still slightly surprised, even though it's now dark, that the traffic is very calm and quiet.
It's got time to get out of here.
Yes, it is. We've just got enough time to pack up and leave, that's for sure. But it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for having you, Anisa,
Thank you.
and thank you to you, Shruthi, for keeping
Thank
me
you,
company
Joe.
on this, the 47th National Day. In fact, I discovered today that Oman Air has a special deal on, 47%.
47% discount.
Oh, brilliant.
So I hope I'm still alive
Oh.
in, what's the maths, 53 years' time, when it'll be 100% discount on National Day. I hope I'm still alive. But anyway, on a serious note, thank you very much for joining
Happy
us.
National Day to you.
Happy National Day to you and to His Majesty as well, from all of us, the entire Times TV crew here on Muttrah Corniche. Enjoy the rest of it.